Jaguar E-Type. Welcome to Car Traction. Now in today's video we're at another classic car meet. Now this one's going to be a bit different because it's not just classic cars. Today we're in the 1952 Ford Anglia, but we have some slightly more unusual cars such as some moderns, i.e. that McLaren and Lotus Exige. But just behind me I can see a lovely Porsche Carrera, so we'll have to have a closer look at that. See a few classics down there, primarily TVRs, so I think we're going to have a look around and then also try and capture some of the cars coming into the show. TVR Chimera arriving at the car meet. Here's that lovely Porsche Carrera I was just talking about. Gorgeous car, my favourite livery, white with the red Carrera stripe. Looks like it might be tuned up a bit. It's got a roll cage and some special seats. Got another Porsche, this time a 928. Another very rare German 80s car. Back to this, we've got all the traditional sponsors. We've got Gulf and Marlboro, this time the aerobatic team. I think this colour scheme just looked great. Sauter, also a great shape of car with the wide arch, the huge exhaust as well. This 911 Carrera, it is beautiful, isn't it? Looks like we've got hill manoeuvring. MGTF, TVR Chimera now. There's a lot of these sort of 80s, 90s performance cars turning up today. We've got a Porsche, then another TVR Chimera. Another modern classic in the form of this Porsche Boxster. Another modern car now in the form of this, yes, another Porsche 911. We have the gorgeous Carrera. We've already had a look at that one. Another common attendee to car meets around here is this Porsche 911. Slightly later example, I think this would be one of the ones with the turbo, 911 SC. I've seen this one a lot. For example, at the meet I recently went to at the Burtport pub, saw this one leaving. Very cute VW Beetle now. Seems to be a relatively early one. It's got the little extra bits of chrome and the smaller bumpers. Yeah, it appears I'm right. Got the much more swoopy back. That is true with the early examples and the smaller rear lights and the smaller boot release. However, it's not the earliest of all early ones because it's not a split screen window. It's a really swoopy shape. I think some of the ones getting on towards sort of the 70s just went a bit plasticky and rubbery for me, but these ones have to be my favourite. They're just really cute, iconic shape, aren't they? Modern Japanese classic now in the form of this Mitsubishi GTO twin turbo, I believe. Sure, it goes along pretty well. Here we have yet more modern classic goodness from this Mercedes SL. Very clean condition. Then we have a little Caterham, so it's quite good fun. The McLaren coming in. wonder if it's going to park near the other one. I can hear something with a V8 coming in. I think it might be a Mercedes. Oh no, a Maserati. These engines sound great when they're given some welly. First of our modern supercars, we have this McLaren 570S. Look at those brakes, wow. Certainly a very vibrant colour, neon green. Certainly stands out. If the shape and sound of it already didn't stand out, I think the colour would do the job for it. Got a little Lotus Elise, looks like it's been tuned up a little bit. Yeah, we've got the racing seats in there, the spoiler, the wide arches, singular exhaust. I'm not sure all of them had those. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not too good on these modern cars. I tend to concentrate more on the classic cars because obviously I tend to see more classic cars than modern cars at the sort of meets I go to. This one's got 2 huge exhaust pipes, and this one's another 570S. I can only presume it's the only really common model, if I can say that, of McLaren. Complete with baby seats. We're recruiting some new young racing drivers. Wow, look at those air intakes. They're just built for speed, these things, aren't they? That lovely TR4, complete with the nice shell lamps with the shell covered. Beyond our little Ford Anglia, we have a white Hillman that we saw arriving and manoeuvring around, trying to fit itself into a parking spot. I'm sure you could fit something like this into a very small spot. Then we have a Ford Escort 1600 Sport. This is one that hasn't been modified. Looks very original. The only modification really looks like these lamps on the front, which I really rate. Very 70s vibrant orange. It matches what I'm wearing today. Hello. The owner has kindly allowed me to have a look into the interior of this lovely Escort 1600 Sport. I'm sure it goes pretty well. I can see an E-Type. Around off to go and have a look at that. It's lovely, this one. It looks really quite original. Got some straight 6 burbly noises, 4.2 litre engine. A Series 1 of course, with these smaller indicators on the front.
It is. Hey Carl, you alright?
Another VW Beetle, looks a bit modified. Surprisingly loud actually. Lovely Lotus Elan, a couple of British classics there. Got TR4 by the looks of things, or is it TR5? Have to have a look. TR4A that was. And another VW Beetle. Oh, looks like it's on air. That beautiful Maserati, designed by Pininfarina of course, also accompanied by its lovely V8 Burble. Got the yellow highlights on the calipers as well. Little Mazda MX-5 coming in. Got a Ford Capri now. This looks like quite a late example. I really like the shape of Ford Capri. I think it looks really cool, that one. And a Honda S2000. That's another very similar car. The Mazda MX-5 rolls past. Wow, we have a Ferrari Testarossa. It's that gorgeous swoopy Mark 1 Jaguar E-Type. It's a really beautiful design, this, isn't it? We'll definitely have to go and have a look at that Ferrari Testarossa, but first of all, let's have a look at all these TVRs. Now, the only TVR Griffith is this one. Surprisingly, I thought there'd be more. I can only think perhaps there was some sort of TVR club post on Facebook or something, because loads of them are turned up. All the examples you're about to see are TVR cameos, just so that I don't have to keep saying it again. Last of all, we have a Triumph TR4A with the hump in the bonnet to accommodate the carburetors. I love these solid top ones. I think they look great. Got a Porsche Boxster driving past now. I think these TR4s and TR5s are just a really sort of stereotypical shape for a 50s, 60s British sports car, but stereotypical in a good way. So I think they're a really good looking car. It's really tasty Lotus Elan. I don't see many of these Lotus Elan S4, and at one of the rare occasions that you do see them, you realise just how small they actually are. I can only think they must handle really well due to their lightweight. I think Colin Chapman said bigger engines will make you faster on the straights, but reducing weight will make you faster everywhere. Looks like we have some supercars coming in, more McLarens. I wonder if this one is a 570 S2. I think this one's a 600 LT. I have no idea what differences that has to the 570, but yeah, 600 LT McLaren. It's that Rover. Proper British Leyland car, really, isn't it? Actually sounded quite nice and burbly when it came in. Here are two new VW Beetles that came in earlier, both of which are most likely modified, but I'd say this one is far more modified. This one's really low rider, with the ridiculous negative camber on the back. Look at that. I mean, when I say low, that is really low. I wouldn't want to try and tackle a speed bump with that. Beautiful Jag coming in. It's a really gorgeous shape, and that colour really complements it. I also like how they've removed the bumpers to make it look more racy. Everything on that is done right. We've got some TVRs coming in now. Is this the Tuscan? Yes, TVR Tuscans. Followed by another Chimera. seems to be a bit of a crowd around some of the supercars here. So we've got the 600 LT McLaren, then the Ferrari Testarossa. I believe these had a V12 boxer engine, of course designed by Pininfarina. That low rider on air, springing about, the big American Lincoln. Seen a couple of interesting cars going past. I just saw an R32 Nissan GTR, another favourite of mine, probably my favourite JDM car. Look at the angle of that wheel, it's ridiculous, isn't it? And also earlier we saw a Super Club Ultima. Now if you don't know what an Ultima is, it's basically a sort of early 2000s supercar, but with traditional driving styles such as rear wheel drive and a huge naturally aspirated V8 engine. We saw that going past, so there must be a few meets going on today. Another BMW coming in, 330i, referring to its 3-litre engine. I'm sure it's a straight six, but speaking of straight sixes, it's a really traditional 50s sports car, this is now. I love this. Such a great iconic shape. And sound most likely. One of the first cars to meet, but somehow I've missed it. We've got Focus RS. But anyway, back to something a little bit nicer, in my opinion, of course, and older. This lovely MG. The spotlight on front as well. Very traditional sports car from the 1940s. This Porsche 356 Speedster replica. A modern interpretation of a very iconic swoopy shape. Gone down this random small lane just from the car meet over there. I'm not sure why it's parked there. There's this lovely Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite. I don't know why it's parked down here, because the car meet's sort of all the way over there. Whether he's allowed to, I don't know. Whether I'm allowed to come here and have a look, I don't know, but nobody's here, so you've got to seize the opportunity when you see it. Another British sports car from a similar era in the form of this Triumph TR3. Got a lovely Jag coming in, 4.2 litre. Looks like a Mark 1. I've seen this one at a couple of other shows. If you like your Jaguars, I recently did a 5-minute guide video to all the variations of Jaguar XJ6 and XJ12 until the Series 3. Now this one's a Series 1, which is available with the 4.2 litre and the 2.8, both of which were straight 6 engines. The colour really suits it. It's a lovely shape, isn't it? Then we have this Porsche 911 Carrera, a slightly later example. I'm sure both of these will go pretty well on the country road. So we may be getting a departure from the Carrera. TVR. Wonder if we'll get some sound from the Carrera. Is it me, or do there seem to be loads of Porsches. Speaking of which, didn't that Carrera sound good? MGA arriving, the classic car meet or classic car show.
Try and do something useful with lockdown.
Yeah.
Just sort of at home.
Sounds nice. That was loud. Also arrived now as this Porsche 911 Targa, the first Targa we've seen in quite a while. Wow, this Nissan Micra, I've only just noticed it. Okay then. Looks like the Capri is also leaving. Escort 1600. Series 1 E-Type departing now. The Series 1 Jaguar XJ is leaving with the 4.2 litre straight 6 engine. This one is actually a manual, so it's even rarer. Got the Caterham now, starting to rain a bit. Could be fun in this weather. Looks like we got a TVR Tuscan leaving. Okay, it's really starting to rain now, but I'm braving the elements so that you guys can see these cars leaving the show. Looks like we've got a few coming now. Got Porsche 911, VW Beetle, looks like the Jag XK140 is starting up. First of all with the little Vauxhall, We have the Porsche 911. Hopefully this should sound a bit good. Lotus Line is leaving now. Got TVR leaving now. Looks like this TVR is leaving, and then the MGTF. Wow, a pink 911, I think that's a first for me. Now the Mercedes SL.